morning students, welcome to your English literature class. In the previous session, we had discussed detailed summary and critical appreciation of Act 5 Scene 1 of The Tempest. And in this session, we will continue critical appreciation and paraphrase of lines 1 till 35 of Act 5 Scene 1. I hope all of you have textbooks with you. I shall be pointing out the meanings of the difficult words, important literary devices and references which will help you to understand the text better. So students, open your workbook of The Tempest at page number 172. So in this session, you will be able to critically analyze Act 5, learn the references and literary devices used in the lines 1 till 35, and you all will be able to learn the explanation of lines 1 till 35. So students, let us continue our discussion of critical appreciation. Point: an abundance of redemption. So students, note down the meaning of word abundance. Means plentiful or in a large quantity. Next, the word is redemption. Meaning is the act of saving from sin. So, let's read. There is an abundance of redemption at the end of the play. This redemption occurs in Alonso and even Caliban. So, students, this redemption occurs in Alonso and Caliban, as Alonso has atoned for the evil he has done, and Caliban also feels repentant of his evil conspiracy hatched against Prospero's life with Stefano and Trinculo. So continuing further, such a treatment cannot be given to Antonio, Sebastian or the drunkard clowns, Stefano and Trinculo, who are without doubt the unworthy dregs of society. So students, dregs of society means worthless people of society. So here, such redemption cannot be given to Antonio, Sebastian or the drunkards, Stefano and Trinculo, who are undoubtedly worthless people or parts of society. As students, we have already read that they don't have any repentance of the evil intentions or doings. So, Ferdinand and Miranda do not need this redemption since they are free of blemish. Means Ferdinand and Miranda didn't commit any sin. So, next point is Gonzalo's summary. Gonzalo summarizes the action of the play, wishes the young couple a hearty blessing, and reminds the audience that the play's title was necessitated by the storm, since it was the storm that initiated all the action. So, note down the meaning. The word is necessitated. Meaning is made necessary. Next is initiated, means began. So, Gonzalo summarizes the action of the whole play, how they have gained much during the voyage. Through his speech in lines 234 till 242 of Act 5, Gonzalo tells that Claribel found a husband at Tunis. Ferdinand, her brother, found a wife, Miranda, where he was lost. Prospero found his dukedom on a poor island, and they all found their real selves when none of them was in his senses. He also prays for the blessings of the gods upon the couple. So, Gonzalo also reminds the audience that the title The Tempest should have been suitable, as it is the storm only through which all the action takes place. So, continuing further, he also reminds us of the joking reference made by him at the beginning of the scene as the boatswain and the captain appear on stage. So, Gonzalo also reminds a witty and sarcastic remark about the behavior of the boatswain. In Act 1, Scene 1, when Gonzalo says that the boatswain does not have any drowning mark on him, he is destined to die on the gallows. Now, come to the next point. The next point is rainbow replaces the tempest. The imagery of the scene takes dramatic turn in this act. As this act brings together all the loose ends, it ends on a happy note of forgiveness and reconciliation. There is no thunder and lightning and violent waves. What we have now is a rainbow through the presence of Iris in the mask. The serenity symbolizes the peace that occurs between the various characters after a restless existence. Students, mark the word serenity and write down its meaning, calmness. We have already read, students, as the play opens with thunder and lightning, but there is no thunder, lightning and violent waves in this scene. At the end of the play, all the characters are found in peace as the storm ceases. There is neither any death nor destruction. Moreover, the storm brings victory of the good over the evil. The wrongdoers are brought face to face on the island, and the whole machinery of revenge is turned to forgiveness. Next is, at the beginning of the play, the storm had been a symbol of betrayal, revenge and inordinate greed. The rainbow symbolizes union, mirth and bliss. So students, note down the meaning of inordinate greed. Meaning is excessive desire to acquire wealth or riches. So, the storm symbolizes the suffering that Prospero has experienced after his usurpation and wants to seek revenge. He makes his enemies suffer for what they did to him. So, at the end of the play, the treacherous plots of the wrongdoers are exposed, the criminals defeated, the guilty repented, and reconciliation and happiness are brought about. And the rainbow symbolizes union, mirth, and bliss. So, Ferdinand realizes that the sea is merciful, as his love ends in marriage with Miranda. The rainbow is also a symbol of the re-establishment of the moral order in the world, where Prospero regains his dukedom and Caliban his native island. So, the rainbow symbolizes the re-establishment of the moral order where Prospero gets his dukedom back and Caliban gets his native land. So students, with this, our discussion of critical appreciation ends up. I hope all of you have understood the critical appreciation. Now, let's continue the discussion of the text. So, open your textbooks at page 150 and let's start Act 5, Scene 1. This scene takes place before Prospero's cell, where he enters in his magic robes and he is accompanied by Ariel. So students, Act 5 is known as the resolution of the play, but it has its roots in Act 3. When Ariel, in the guise of the harpy, had made Alonso and his companions realize that they had committed a grave sin to oust Prospero and his infant daughter Miranda. Ariel made them realize their sins and also tells them if they want to come out of this situation, they have to express their heartfelt sorrow. Now Prospero's revenge is complete. He has taken adequate revenge over his enemies. So students, here he says something. So let's continue. What does he say? Now does my project gather to a head, my charms crack not, my spirits obey, and time goes upright with his carriage. How's the day? So students, here note down the meanings of the words first. Project means plan. Gather to a head means reach the climax. Next word is charms, which means magic. Next is crack, means fail. The next word is the day. Day refers to time. So, Prospero says Now does my project gather to a head. He says his project or plans are almost at their climax. My charms crack not. So he says his magic or spells do not fail, means his spells are working well. My spirits obey, means his spirits are obeying well. And time goes upright with his carriage. Here students, time is personified. So students, what is personification? Personification means when a lifeless object is given lifelike quality. And here it is said, time marches on smoothly to produce the final results. So, and time goes upright with his carriage means everything is right on schedule. How's the day? So, Prospero is asking Ariel about the time. Means, what is the time? Now, let's discuss the gist of the text of what we have read now. Here, Prospero is satisfied to see that his plan is maturing in the right direction and his magic does not fail. Means, his magic charms are working well and his spirits are obeying his orders, and time also marches smoothly to produce the final results. Means, everything is right on schedule. At this, Ariel replies, on the 6th hour, at which time, my lord, you said our work should cease. So students, meaning of 6th hour, 6 o'clock. Cease means complete. So Ariel replies that it is the 6th hour, means it is 6 p.m. when Prospero said his work would be finished. At this, Prospero says, I did say so. When first I raised the tempest, say my spirit, how fears the king and followers. So students, now here my spirit refers to Ariel. Meaning of fears is gets on, and apostrophe s refers to his. So at this, Prospero says, that's what he said when he first raised the tempest. Students, what did Prospero say when he first raised the tempest? Prospero said that raising the storm, bringing the royal passengers to the island, and to make them repentant for their deeds should end by 6 o'clock. These words were said by Prospero when he first raised the tempest. So, next he continues, say my spirit how fears the king and his followers. So here, Prospero asks Ariel about the condition of King Alonso and his followers. So he asks how King Alonso and his followers are getting on. First we discuss the gist of the text what we have read. Ariel tells Prospero that the day has reached its 6th hour, means 6 p.m. when he is allowed to stop working. Prospero acknowledges Ariel's request and asks how the king and his followers are getting on. So, at this, Ariel replies, confined together in the same fashion as you gave in charge, just as you left them, all prisoners, sir, in the lime grove which weather fence yourself. They cannot budge till your release. So note down the meanings. Confined means imprisoned. Gave in charge means asked him to do or asked me to do. Lime grove means group of lime trees. Now students, here we have weather fence. Actually, it is a verb of Shakespeare's own manufacture got by combining weather and defend. But here it means protect from harsh weather or bad weather. Next is budge, meaning is move. So, at this, Ariel replies, all the prisoners are imprisoned together, just as Prospero ordered him, just as Prospero asked him to do. They all are present in the lime grove that protects Prospero's cell from harsh weather. So they cannot budge till your release, means all the prisoners cannot move till he releases them. Whom does they refer to? They refers to all the prisoners who were imprisoned in the lime grove. So gist of the text is, on being asked about the condition of king and his followers, Ariel tells him that they are currently imprisoned as Prospero ordered in a grove of lime trees which provide protection to his cell from bad weather or harsh weather. All the prisoners cannot move until Prospero releases them. Here students, all of you can see all the prisoners are imprisoned in a grove. So Ariel continues. He says, the king, his brother, and yours abide, all three distracted, and the remainder mourning over them, brimful of sorrow and dismay. But chiefly him that you termed, sir, the good old Lord Gonzalo, his tears run down his beard like winter's drops from eaves of reeds. The king here means Alonso. His brother means Alonso's brother Sebastian. Yours means Prospero's brother Antonio. Abide means stay. Distracted means insane. Remainder means others. Mourning over them means mourning over their condition. Brimful, completely. Chiefly means mainly. Eaves means projecting portions of roofs. Off reeds means of thatched cottages. Ariel further informs Prospero that the king, his brother, and yours abide all three distracted, means King Alonso and his brother Sebastian and Prospero's brother Antonio, all three of them are getting insane, means all three of them remain there in an unsettled condition, and the remainder mourning over them, and the others are grieving over their condition. But chiefly him that you termed, sir, the good old Lord Gonzalo, his tears run down his beard like winter's drops from eaves of reeds. But mainly the one, sir, whom Prospero called the good old Lord Gonzalo. Students, here Ariel describes the condition of Gonzalo in confinement. So he says, the good old Lord Gonzalo is in a pathetic condition, means he has tears in his eyes, and his tears run down his beard like winter's drops from eaves of reeds. Now here students, his tears are compared to winter's drops. Here we have simile, like. So his tears run down from his beard are compared to icicles from the protruding edge of a roof of thatched cottages. Actually students, meaning of icicles is frozen water, and protruding means projecting. Thatched means made from straw or reeds. Your charm so strongly works him that if you now beheld them, your affections would become tender. So note down the meanings. Charm means magic spell. Beheld means see. Affections means emotions or feelings. And tender means soft. So Ariel continues, and says to Prospero, his charm or magic has affected all the prisoners so strongly that if he were to see them now, he would be moved with sympathy for them. Means he would have pity for them. Students, this shows Ariel has human touch. So at this, Prospero tells, dost thou think so, spirit? Dost thou means do you. So Prospero says, do you think so, spirit? Spirit means Ariel. Now at this, Ariel says, mine would, sir, were I human. So he says he would feel for them if he were a human being. Now let's discuss the gist of the text. The king, his brother and Prospero's brother are all waiting there in a crazed state of mind, and the rest are grieving over them, sad and astonished. Gonzalo is the saddest of all, with tears running down his beard. His magic spell, means Prospero's magic spell, has such an effect on them that if he, students, he refers to Prospero. So if he were to see them now, he would feel pity for them. Now next is, at this, Prospero says, and mine shall, hast thou, which art but air, a touch, a feeling of their afflictions, and shall not myself, one of their kind, that relish all as sharply, passion as they, be kindlier moved than thou art. Let's discuss the meanings. And mine shall means my sympathies will arise. Touch means sense. Afflictions means pains or sufferings. Sharply or relish all as sharply, feel as keenly. Passion means experience deep feeling, and kindlier is with compassion. So Prospero says, and mine shall means his sympathies will be aroused. Hast thou, which art but ear, a touch, a feeling of their afflictions, and shall not myself. So Prospero says, he means Ariel is made of air. If he feels sympathy for them in their distress or pain, shall not Prospero, one of their kind, means a human being like them, that relish all as sharply passion as they, be kindlier moved than thou art. A human being like them, with as sensitive a feeling as they have, and feel for them more than him. So, what is the gist of the lines what we have read? Ariel, after describing the condition in which he had left the shipwrecked king and his followers or courtiers in the lime grove before Prospero's cell, says that the sight is too touching. If Prospero were there, he would sure relent. Here Prospero approves of it. If Ariel, who is but a spirit of the air, were so deeply moved by their sufferings, shall not Prospero, who is a man like them and feels as keenly as they, be more affected at the sight of their sufferings? Now continuing further, in other words, Prospero shows here a real emotion at the narration of the suffering shipwrecked party and resolves to forgive them. Here, students, we get the human side of Ariel's character. We have already discussed Ariel has a human touch. So, though he is spirit of the air, he is not untouched with a human sentiment. Now continuing further, though with their high wrongs I am struck to the quick, yet with my nobler reason gainst my fury do I take part. The rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance. They being penitent, the sole drift of my purpose doth extend not a frown further. Let's discuss word meanings. word is wrongs, which means the great wrongs done by them. Next word is to the quick. Struck to the quick means sensitive part of someone. I am struck to the quick means I am deeply hurt. Next is fury, means anger. Vengeance means revenge. Penitent means regret. Purpose means intention. So, at this, Prospero continues. He says he feels deeply hurt due to the injustice they have done to him. They refers to Alonso and his companions. So, Prospero says that he feels deeply hurt due to the injustice they have done to him. So, students, why is Prospero hurt by thinking of his betrayal? Prospero is hurt due to the injustice Alonso and his companions have done to him. So, what does he say, or what guides Prospero more in his decision to forgive his offenders? Students, offenders means persons who have done something wrong. So, Prospero says that he is guided by calm or reason and not by anger. So, he says forgiveness is better than taking revenge. What does it mean, students? It means it is more rare to treat one's enemy with kindness and forgiveness than with revenge. Actually, Prospero's focus was not on revenge, but he only wanted his enemies to repent on their wrong deeds done to him. So, they being penitent, that the sole drift of my purpose doth extend not a frown further. So, since Alonso and his companions all are repentant, means they now regret their evil deeds, he is not inclined to be angry with them any more. So, gist of the text, what we have read in these lines. Prospero here says to Ariel that he will forgive his enemies. Antonio had conspired against him, and in this he was assisted by Alonso. They have done him deep wrongs by expelling him from his dukedom and casting him along with his daughter adrift on the sea to perish. The table is turned against his enemies. Now that they are at his mercy, it is natural for Prospero to have vengeance on them. It is far nobler to show mercy than to take vengeance. Now that they are sincerely repentant, the intention of Prospero will go no further by way of hostility. He will heartily forgive them and be reconciled to them like friends. After this, Prospero orders Ariel. Now, what does he order? Go release them, Ariel. My charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves. So Prospero orders Ariel to go and set them free. Set all the prisoners free. My charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves. Means Prospero will end the power of his magic, which binds them, and restore their senses, so that they shall be the same again, or they may be their normal selves. Now Ariel replies, I'll fetch them, sir. So Ariel replies, yes, he will bring them here. And after this, Ariel exits. So, gist of the text is, Prospero orders Ariel to release the prisoners and bring them here. He will end the power of his magic, which binds them, and restore their sanity, so that they may be their normal selves. So students, I hope all have understood the explanation or paraphrase of lines 1 till 35. We'll continue in our next video. Till then, your homework for the day is plan lines 35 till 85. Thank you.